Hi, if you have met in the past or we crossed paths at some point, you might have gotten the impression that I look a little concerned, worried, or some people might call me an overthinker. Yes, you were right. I had questions and I was always looking for my answers. I was basically trying to make sense of everything around me for a long time. I've tried different things: books, quotes, poetry, movies, traveling, and later on, talking to people and hearing their stories and experiences. Basically, I was exploring and seeking my answers from everywhere in the outside world. I did learn a lot, but did I get the answers to my questions? No. Until last summer, that I decided to try a different approach for my mental health. I was exposed to schema therapy, life traps, and transactional analysis in psychotherapy. I heard names like Eric Berne, Jeffrey Young from my therapist, and I started reading their books. I learned most of my adult life had been designed and scripted in my childhood. During schema therapy, I realized my brain had deleted 5 minutes of my childhood, the most detrimental 5 minutes of my life. From the moment I saw my little 6-year-old brother in the middle of the street, under the bus, I didn't remember anything. There was a 5 minute gap. A kid doesn't have the knowledge or life experience to deal with unknown feelings or emotions. He makes assumptions or conclusions based on his limited knowledge. He creates an image of himself, which becomes his core belief, and he carries that all the way to his adulthood. That image defines and shapes his needs, his goals, his expectations about himself, his life, his career, his friendships and relationships. Expectations and characteristics that are not coming from his nature or through himself. He makes them as a coping mechanism. That helped clear things up for me. At the age of 8, I was faced with a massive flow of strange feelings coming from facing the most sophisticated, complicated question and challenge of life: death and the meaning of life. I was confused. I felt alone, and nobody was around me, or at least could help me good enough to analyze it and process it. Through schema therapy, you kind of travel in time. Your adult version goes back and meets your little self. With your current knowledge and life experiences, you explain it to yourself and help make you a whole person again, a new image. Believe it or not, that was a game changer for me. After that, things started to make more sense. I realized no one could give me the answers. I couldn't find my answers anywhere outside. All my answers were in my past. I found them from within. I have lived long enough to learn and realize that I'm not allowed to or cannot tell anyone what to do or what not to do. As I just said, I found my answers from within. And I'm sure everyone has their own past, stories, challenges, upbringings, or even geographical limitations. For me, was seeing my little brother unconscious in the middle of the street at the age of 8. But for others, might be at different ages, might be abusive, aggressive, or even incorrect parental behavior, abandonment by parents, losing dear ones from a serious disease like cancer, getting bullied in school, or so many other scenarios. I think that's why beloved Rumi in one of his poems says, "Whatever purifies you is the right path. I will not try to define it." But I believe in communication and sharing experiences, as I was exposed to this new concept through a conversation with a dear friend of mine. But since I cannot knock on everyone's door and talk about the sensitive topic like mental health in today's world, I decided to make this short video and share it with my small circle of friends and acquaintances. I thought hearing it from someone you know personally might be helpful. I believe you are all alone in this mysterious, puzzling journey called life, but believe it or not, in that feeling, you are not alone. It might sound paradoxical, but if you know, you know. All the best and enjoy the ride. RS.